Imagine locking your hotel door behind you, taking a step into the hallway, and vanishing as if the floor itself swallowed you. That's exactly what happened to one tourist, and no one knows where he went. It was supposed to be a simple trip, a short stay in a hotel while exploring a new city. Nothing unusual, nothing risky, just a tourist enjoying a quiet night away from home. But that night would turn ordinary into unthinkable. After locking his hotel room door, he stepped into the hallway. Witnesses later recalled seeing him pause for a moment, as if listening or looking for something. But then, in an instant, he was gone. Not behind furniture, not down the stairs, not anywhere the hotel cameras could catch. He had vanished. Security footage shows him leaving the room, walking down the hallway, and then nothing. No trace. No hint. Just an empty corridor where a man had been standing only seconds before. Friends and family were left with only questions. Where did he go? How could someone disappear in a place so ordinary, so contained? And that is the mystery at the heart of this story. One man stepped out of his hotel room and stepped into something no one has been able to explain. The tourist had arrived in the city just a day earlier, excited to explore unfamiliar streets, sample local cuisine, and take in the sights. He checked into a mid-range hotel in the heart of town, a building that seemed ordinary at first glance, comfortable, well-kept, nothing remarkable about it. Friends and family later described him as relaxed, in high spirits. He called home that evening to say he had settled into his room and even shared a few photos of the view from the window, a busy street below, glowing with lights, people moving about their evening routines. Everything seemed perfectly normal. He unpacked lightly, laid out his plans for the next day, and stepped out briefly to grab a late snack. The hotel staff remembered him as polite, friendly, and utterly unremarkable, someone they would have no reason to remember later except for what happened that night. By all accounts, nothing suggested danger, no arguments, no unusual behavior, no indication that he feared for his safety. Yet, within hours of that seemingly ordinary evening, he would step out of his hotel room and vanish entirely. It was late at night, and the hotel corridors were nearly silent. A few distant footsteps echoed. The hum of the air conditioning filled the hall, and the faint glow of exit signs painted the walls in an eerie light. The tourist stepped out of his room, closing the door behind him. Witnesses, guests in neighboring rooms, remembered seeing him pause briefly, as if noticing something strange, something just out of place. Then he walked forward and disappeared. Security cameras captured him entering the hallway, but the footage doesn't show him leaving it. There was no stairwell, no elevator, no other exit where he could have gone unnoticed. And yet moments later, the hallway was empty. It was as if the floor itself had swallowed him, leaving behind only an empty corridor and unanswered questions. Staff who later reviewed the footage described the scene as surreal. The lights didn't flicker, there were no shadows, no interference, nothing that could explain the sudden disappearance. One guest even claimed they felt a chill pass through the hallway at that moment, a strange sensation of emptiness that made the air feel heavier, colder. No one knows what he saw, what drew him forward, or what waited in that hallway. All that remains is the terrifying fact that he stepped into the void and vanished completely. The first accounts came from hotel staff. One night shift receptionist said she saw him step out of his room and pause in the hallway, just for a moment, as if listening to something she couldn't hear. He didn't seem scared, she recalled. But there was something off. I don't know how else to explain it. Another witness, a guest staying down the hall, reported seeing him walk forward and then vanish into the air itself, Or at least, that's how it felt. One second he was there, the next, nothing. I blinked, and he was gone. The hallway was empty. A maintenance worker described an odd sensation later when reviewing the security footage. He said the lights in the corridor seemed to shift subtly, as if reacting to the tourist's presence. And some swear that the faint sound of footsteps continued for a few seconds after he had disappeared, even though no one else was in the hallway. Each account is fragmented, inconsistent in detail, yet all point to the same chilling truth. The tourist didn't simply walk away. Something inexplicable happened right in the middle of a seemingly normal hotel corridor. The witnesses were left shaken, unable to explain what they had seen, and with the haunting sense that the corridor itself had swallowed him whole. When the tourist didn't return to his room, hotel staff quickly alerted the authorities. Security footage was reviewed frame by frame, but it revealed only one thing with certainty. He had left his room, and then, nothing. Police searched every corner of the hotel. Stairwells, service exits, elevators, even the rooftop. Every possible exit was checked, but there was no sign of him. The cameras showed no evidence of him leaving the building. No footprints, no disturbed furniture, no trace of struggle. Investigators interviewed staff and other guests, but the accounts were as inconsistent as they were unsettling. Some said they felt a sudden chill in the hall. Others reported seeing fleeting shadows, almost like he had stepped into another dimension. The surrounding area was also searched thoroughly. Streets, alleyways, nearby parking lots, even neighboring hotels were checked. Nothing. It was as if he had vanished into thin air. Authorities eventually widened their investigation to consider foul play, accidents, or voluntary disappearance. But nothing fit. His belongings, wallet, and phone were all left behind in the room. No ransom note, no signs of coercion, just silence. And so the case grew colder with each passing day. The tourist had entered the hallway and disappeared, yet every piece of evidence suggested that, according to the laws of the world, he shouldn't have been able to vanish at all. The tourist's disappearance, strange as it was, isn't entirely unique. Over the years, there have been other reports of people vanishing from hotels, resorts, and urban buildings under equally baffling circumstances. In one case, a business traveler stepped into a hotel corridor in a foreign city, paused at a doorway, and simply disappeared. Security footage captured him walking toward an exit, but he never emerged. The building was searched thoroughly, yet he was gone without a trace. Another case involved a young woman leaving her hotel room late at night. Staff remembered her heading toward a rarely used service door. She never came back. Like the tourist, her belongings were untouched, and there was no evidence of foul play. These disappearances share a haunting pattern. The victims leave through ordinary doors, often in ordinary buildings, and vanish without warning. Hallways that should lead to streets or lobbies seem to become impossible spaces. Footsteps stop mid-air. Cameras show nothing, and yet each story leaves a lingering sense of presence, as if the space itself swallowed the person whole. Patterns like these are rare, but the similarities are striking. They suggest that what happened to the tourist might not have been a random accident, but something far stranger, something that defies logic. When faced with a disappearance that defies explanation, people naturally search for answers. In the case of the tourist, several theories have emerged, some rational, others bordering on the impossible. The simplest idea is that he walked away. Perhaps he panicked, got lost in the unfamiliar city, or decided to disappear intentionally. But this theory struggles to explain why he left his belongings, phone, and wallet behind. Everything that could help him survive or communicate was left untouched. Another theory considers foul play. Could someone have been waiting in the hallway, ready to abduct him? Perhaps a criminal opportunity or human intervention was at play. Yet there was no evidence of struggle, no signs of forced entry, and no suspect ever emerged. Then there are the stranger, paranormal explanations. Some suggest the hallway itself might have been a liminal space, a threshold to another dimension, a void that temporarily exists between worlds. According to this idea, he didn't walk away. He stepped into a place outside our reality, where the normal rules of space and time no longer apply. Others go further, suggesting the building itself might be anomalous, an ordinary hotel with hidden, shifting architecture, hallways that appear and vanish, doors that lead nowhere and everywhere at once. To believers, the tourist wasn't unlucky. He was in the wrong place at the wrong time, caught in a doorway that should never have been opened. Whatever the truth, these theories all share one unsettling reality. The disappearance cannot be easily explained, and each one leaves a chilling question. What does it truly mean to step into the void? Years have passed since the tourist vanished, yet the mystery refuses to fade. The hotel still stands, operating under new management, but the story lingers among staff and guests. Some say the hallway where he disappeared is avoided late at night, and the back corridors are kept well lit or locked entirely. The case has inspired countless articles, podcasts, and online discussions. Paranormal enthusiasts visit the hotel hoping to capture evidence of something beyond explanation. A few claim to feel sudden chills, hear footsteps, or catch glimpses of a figure that vanishes before they can get a closer look. The most unnerving part of this story is that no one truly knows what happened. The tourist didn't leave a note, didn't take his belongings, and didn't reappear elsewhere. He simply stepped into a hallway and vanished. Some say it was a tragic accident. Others whisper about hidden doorways, liminal spaces, or dimensions that brush against our reality for just a moment. Whatever the truth, one fact remains. The void took him, and nothing we know can explain it. And the scariest part? That hallway still exists. The corridor remains ordinary and unassuming, yet it carries the memory of the impossible. Anyone who passes through might wonder, could it happen again? Could someone else step into the void and never return? If this story sent a chill down your spine, make sure to subscribe and tap the bell icon so you never miss another mystery. And in the comments, tell me, if you were standing in that hallway tonight, would you step forward or walk away? Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell for more. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. See you in the next one. Bye for now.